Hello and welcome back to Substream News from a new recording location. Guys, before we start today's video, I need you to go and watch this epic clip from SpaceX. What we just witnessed was an epic, legendary moment in modern history. Yes, SpaceX caught a rocket booster coming back to Earth. Now, why is this special? Well, you could see that it was pretty special, but usually those boosters go to an ocean platform or they fall a few kilometers away. This time it was caught by Mechazilla, and for scale, those SpaceX boosters are 232 foot long. That's about 80 meters. Now, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk naturally was absolutely thrilled with the event. He said, we've made a step towards making life multiplanetary, and absolutely I agree with him. If these boosters are reusable, as they've been designed to be, they make launches so much easier, so much faster, so much more sustainable, and basically you can replicate this and make the whole launch process more streamlined. Now, SpaceX has been recovering boosters for about 9 years, but this was a first of its kind, and we will see how it goes in the future. So I just want to say a massive kudos to SpaceX, everybody there who made this possible. Wow, absolutely brilliant. Let's move on to our next story. Now, SpaceX have built up a massively wonderful reputation for putting satellites in space. And now I have another story about satellites. So if you own anything from an iPhone 14 upwards or a Google Pixel 9, you can now use satellite messaging. You may have seen this in the news, you may have heard that from people, and yeah, thanks to all of these satellites in space, you're benefiting from this technology. The thing is, a lot of people actually don't know this technology exists, and I guess even, well, some of them don't even know how to use it. That looks like a lot of fun. So I'm going to tell you about this life-saving bit of technology, and basically why, if you're stuck out in the wilderness or on a mountain or in the middle of nowhere and you don't have signal, here's how to use it. So first things first, it doesn't work in all of the world. You have to be in a country where it's active. You need a clear view of the open sky. You must be outside, away from trees and large buildings, and avoid cloud cover. Then dial 911. If the call fails, it would be, if it's successful, it's a satellite call. If it fails, you get an option, emergency text via satellite, to text emergency services. Now, then you can also go into the Messages app, text 911 or SOS and tap emergency services. Tap report emergency and follow the on-screen instructions. Now, the text conversation will include information like your medical ID, emergency contact information, location, questionnaire responses, and remaining battery life. If you have a Google Pixel 9 and you want to access the satellite messaging feature, go down to the video description and find the link to this story. All the instructions are there. While you're down there, if you like our content, drop us a follow, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and that's all. And we've come to the end of the cable car, so let's get off, refresh ourselves, and continue in the next story. Let's go. There's life, there's death, and then now there might be a third thing, something beyond life. That's what scientists believe, and this is a wild revelation. Well, scientists believe that they can take cells from both living and dead organisms and turn them into entirely new organisms that are beyond our current concepts of life and death. And while this might sound completely beyond the realms of reality, more like something from a science fiction movie, they actually have managed to do it, and they created this third state, but they haven't actually given it a name yet. Now, this has been achieved by biologists Peter Noble and Alex Poshitkov, and they are co-authors of a new review that say this third state will challenge how scientists understand cell behavior. Now, to explain a little bit more, most organisms follow a set path for life. They're predictable, even those that make radical changes. Say a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, right? It's unpredictable change, but actually it's predictable because it always happens. A maggot, turns into a fly. Things like these, even radical changes are predictable. But this third state basically creates an unpredictable system for life, which is where organisms will do things they shouldn't, take paths they shouldn't, or unpredictable paths, and that break the laws of nature and bioengineering. And this is a crazy tech innovation, if you can call it a scientific revolution. I found this story fascinating, and I hope you do too. I think we should move on to the next story. Let's go. Scientists now believe that what you do affects your brain for the next 2 weeks. So if you like and subscribe to Substream News, you're going to feel good, feel educated, and feel happy for the next fortnight. I don't have a source for that information, but you can trust me on this one. So yes, it turns out that our brains don't react to things in short bursts or isolated surges, but actually over longer extended periods. Now this comes from Anna Triana, a doctoral candidate at Aalto University in Espoo, Finland. And interestingly, she was both the scientist and the guinea pig for this research. I've read the press release and it said, "This suggests that even a workout or a restless night from last week could still affect your brain, and therefore your attention, cognition, and memory well into the next week." So physical activities, sleep patterns, heart rate changes, things like these, even like mood shifts, have a 2-week-long imprint on our neural networks. This basically challenges our conventional wisdom about brain function and opens new avenues for understanding cognition, memory, and even like mental health treatment. So seeing brain activity on a much longer timeline, and how our environment and actions shape it, will really have an impact on neuroscience. And I think this is very interesting, especially as the rise of mental health research reveals that we can actually do a lot to fix ourselves and the way we think. So I suggest reading good information to inform yourself on things like this. So that's why we always include our sources in the video description. So go down and click there. Let's move on. This nice arch behind me, this lovely bridge, has inspired me to give you a double story about the Golden Arches. Yes, Mackie D is the world's allegedly favourite restaurant chain or fast food outlet. So first up, McDonald's is suing America's 4 biggest meat packers, claiming that they are colluding to drive up beef prices. Yes, the fast food giant is suing these big 4. It's Tyson, JBS, Cargill, and National Beef Packing Company, and some of their subsidiaries. They think there's a price fixing scheme. This is a federal complaint been filed in New York. They think it's anti-competitive measures and illegally, collectively limiting the supply to inflate prices. And that's a shame because, of course, that's passing on prices to customers, which is why McDonald's performance is seriously down and the company is very worried. And that leads me into the second story about the Golden Arches. Lamb Weston, which is the largest producer of French fries in North America, and just a general major supplier to all the big fast food chains, or most of them, is closing a production plant in Washington state. They said they're laying off 400 employees, that's 4% of their workforce, and temporarily cutting production. That's because there's less demand for French fries. Now, why is this? That's because people are not eating out as much in the US because cost of living has gone up, the cost of food has gone up, cost of eating at restaurants has gone up, the cost of breathing has gone up. It's just unsupportable. And Lamb Weston shares, as a result, have dropped 35% this year. It says that Americans are revolting against McDonald's and other fast food chains, and that, of course, is now hurting their suppliers like Lamb Weston and the 4 meatpacking companies from the last story. Suppliers push up prices, the restaurants put the prices onto customers, customers stop coming to the restaurant. It's a death spiral, essentially, and there's a train coming. Oh! Our final story coming soon. I actually didn't know there was a train. I thought it was an inactive little train line. Guys, I've got a nice final lighter note story to lean into. This is a piece that I really enjoyed reading. Ha ha ha. Guys, Burger King, have it your way. You might be familiar with that old slogan, but it was taken a little bit too literally by an incensed sheriff in Georgia, USA. Basically, Burger King messed up his order and he was so enraged he called for backup. Yes, he wanted other deputies to come. Not only did they turn up, but they came with sirens blazing, and he was furious and the staff were terrified, so they locked all the doors and for a while would not let the police in. Now, from the body cam footage, the deputies said, "Nobody's in trouble, we just want to get some names." And that guy out there, he's just going to file a complaint for his food. Now, you might be thinking the sheriff is a bit of a maniac, but actually he said, "I was not in my uniform. At no point in my interaction did I tell them I was a sheriff or a member of the law enforcement community." So don't be too hard on him, whatever your opinion is. But let me know in the comments, do you think the sheriff was justified in calling up his buddies to defend him when Burger King messed up his order? If you say yes, please unsubscribe because that's mental. No, he was not justified. He is crazy. And you're crazy if you don't subscribe. So remember to like and subscribe, enjoy Substream News, and hopefully, if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to go hit up a roller coaster and enjoy my day out. See you next time.